Hello, everyone, and we are back right on schedule, exactly 1 week after we said we'd be. We're No Shots Fired. This is episode 27, Part in the Dust. I am Val, and together again with Doc and Junkblade. And as we can see, Doc has made some major renovations to his casting space.
Yep, I decided it was a little too lived in. I wanted to get a little more down and gritty with my sound, and I figured this would help.
The man of the people.
Yes.
Down in the trenches.
Yeah. I do this for you.
A podcast is never late, nor is it early. It arrives precisely when it means to.
Truer words were never spoken.
Which brings us to the topics for this week. All right, I gotta get into the groove here. I'm not in the casting groove right now. How would you guys recommend I do that? How do I get in the zone? How do you guys get in the zone?
I roll a d20.
Okay, roll a d20 for me.
That's a critical failure.
I got a 1, is what you're saying. So, trying to get into the zone,
right, let's try again, because I gave you advantage on that.
Okay.
10. Okay, forget the d20.
All right. So
I think we wanted to part 85 of our Hollow Knight retrospective.
Yes, part 85 of our Hollow Knight retrospective.
Wanted to get into the endings a bit, I believe.
Yes. First, I'm going to go into a new ending that has come out. Just the requirements for getting it, which I am never going to do because I am not that good at the game. Which is, it's a boss rush where you have to fight every single boss and variation of a boss in the game concurrently to get the ending. And there's like 42 of them.
What do you mean? What do you
mean? One after the other, or all at the same time?
Like one after the other.
Consecutively.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And
that's bananas.
Like no break in between.
No, thank you. That's an insane boss rush. That's
why, or how do you even do that?
Be way better at the game than I am.
Well, I mean, where do you even find this sequence in the game?
That is a good question. I haven't actually looked into it because I just heard the requirement and was like, nope, not even gonna try.
Was that one of those, probably maybe like a new area that was added with that new DLC?
Yeah, it's a new thing with the DLC.
Gotcha.
The other two that I'm going to get into are the ones that I've actually gotten. So I believe last week I went into the first one.
Yes.
Okay.
So the second one requires... The second and third require going through this place that I like calling platforming hell. Because it's just like the worst parts of Super Mario World.
Okay.
Like, those awful buzzsaws are following you the entire time.
Oh yeah, those are no good.
If you get through there, and if you get through there, then you get half of the king's amulet gem, or it's called something like that. I don't recall exactly what it is off the top of my head.
Okay.
And you have to find the other half in the Queen's Garden, which is much less annoying to get to. After you do that, you go back to fight the Hollow Knight again.
Mm-hmm.
And the two endings come from a choice you make during a specific part in the fight. You can either continue the fight when your ally Hornet has him tied up with just your normal nail, and then you will again seal the infection away, and Hornet will be the dreamer that keeps the door sealed so no one can ever break through the door again. And with the way things are at this point in the game, you will actually keep the infection sealed away. At least you'll keep it from getting any worse. The alternative is you can hit him with the Dream Nail and fight the final boss of the game, the Radiance, which is the thing causing the infection and is causing Hollow Nest to just have these horrible, awful egg sac things sprouting up all over it.
Yeah, the kind of necrotic plague that...
Feels like you'd want to do that, right?
Yes, that is the ideal choice. And it took a few tries, but beating the Radiance was very, very satisfying. And it unlocks this little thing where you just get to wail on it for a few seconds.
Always,
which is
always good.
Always satisfying in a final boss.
Okay. Then was there a trail that led you to know that you had to collect the 2 pieces of the amulet, or was it something you had to kind of look up?
Yes, because I would have been completely stuck otherwise, and just figured, well, I guess that's the game.
Okay.
I didn't realize what I had to do to get those pieces.
No environmental storytelling for that.
Not for that particular
that
point,
bad boy.
no.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So, was this Radiance thing something you could fight before any of the updates? Was this always kind of an option for the...
This was, I think, in one of the DLCs. Like, initially they just had the one ending, and then they released a DLC with the other 2.
Are you guys in the middle of the game?
They pulled a Final Fantasy on you when like, oh, this guy was actually from the shadows. Oh, I bet you weren't expecting that again.
I take it this is something Final Fantasy has done a lot.
A couple times, yeah. 4, 9.
I know they did that in 1.
So, I don't know if 6 is... Yeah, 1. I don't know if 6 is that way. I think it's just Kefka. 10, kinda. Yeah. Yeah, classic
10
anime.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, so you think... Are you... I think we talked about this last time, but you're kind of going to take a break from Hollow Knight for a little while, you think?
I think I've gotten out of it what I need to.
Gotcha. Solid. But that was... so how many hours... What was your final hour count on that?
Like 40-some.
Not bad.
Part of that was
Actually
just
less than I would have expected.
a lot of backtracking because I had no idea what I was doing.
That's those games.
But the backtracking wasn't annoying like it is in other games, at least for me personally.
That's what's so impressive, because that can very easily tip into the I'm just not going to bother with this anymore. So I'm always impressed with a game that can stave that off through whatever reason, whether it's just the movement feels so good or the levels are interesting enough that you don't mind going back through them and that sort of stuff. So
Exactly.
well done, people who made Hollow Knight.
Well done.
Well done. I guess I could look that up, I suppose. But while I'm looking that up, we should go on to a game you've been playing, Doc.
Yes.
Who also, yeah.
Once
Destiny
more
2
into
big
the
update.
breach. New expansion, Forsaken, has dropped for Destiny 2. And I've gone a little ways through the story. I've done a fair amount of Crucible. And I've done a fair amount of the new Gambit mode. And I'm enjoying it. I'm doing the Gambit mode's a lot of fun because it's a kind of a mix between PvP and PvE in a way that at least right now is I think it's well done because it's so you're fighting kind of waves of normal like just AI enemies. They drop motes. So you got to run around and pick those up. And as you get, I think the cutoffs are like 5, 10, and 15 motes. if you depositing those will send what's called a blocker to the other side, so that locks down the other team's bank, so they can't deposit any motes, and they have to kill a specific enemy before that'll open back up. And it's a small, medium, large in terms of the amount of health and what type of enemy it is. Then, with a certain number, I don't know because I haven't bothered going over to the other side yet, but every certain number of motes deposited, you get to send one of your people over there to try to disrupt the other people. And if you kill them, they lose those motes that they're carrying. So, I played a game where our friend T-Bob went over and killed 3 people that were holding a total of 25 motes, and that really swung the match in our favor. And when you go over, I think you get a small over shield, and you can actually see where everyone is.
Well, that seems like a fairly big advantage.
So I've been able to take down a fair number of them just by kind of not panicking and stuff. But a lot of times people will go over with their super and stuff, but a lot of people have it hasn't been. I don't know. I have not been dying every time someone invades, and it's a time limit. So if you can, just stay behind a rock for a certain amount of time. But so you're collecting these motes. Once you get to 75 deposited, it summons a big boss character that then you have to kill that. What happens then is the portal for the other team starts to open more often, so they can come over, more frequently. Killing, if you get killed while you're trying to take the boss down, the kills actually heal the boss. So that's kind of a way to try to come back. Because I had a game last night where we had summoned the boss a good ways before the other team, but because they got a couple of kills, they were actually able to summon theirs, and they weren't actually too far behind. We were still able to win, but it made it, that's a way to make it, to come back in that sense. So I don't know. I just, it was definitely a little confusing at first, but once you play it, one or two games, you kind of get it. But right, there's interesting kind of strat. We played against a team that kind of summoned these 3, blockers right as they were getting to summoning their boss, and that just wrecked us. They timed that perfectly so that we just could not kind of recover from that. So I think there's interesting ways of doing it, but you can also it doesn't. You don't have to be a PvP person. I have yet to go over and try to take down the other team. I've just been kind of focusing on motes or denying that sort of stuff. So there's different strategies you can employ, which I always appreciate, because you're not going to get everyone that likes doing that. But
how
yeah.
do you feel about the changes, the new weapons, weapon balance?
I'm liking them. I'm liking them so far. I've been surprised at the effectiveness of the bow in the Crucible. So they added a bow, which is an interesting, fun, goofy thing to be alongside rocket launchers and everything. But no, it kind of feels a bit more like Destiny 1. You'll have people kind of trying to run and do shotguns, but I haven't but it hasn't been it's not like the Fellwinter's Lie at this point, where it's not that's the only thing you can do.
Okay.
I've been rolling with a hand cannon and a pulse rifle, and having a good time with it. So, then another time I've also done a sniper rifle and a pulse rifle, which has been fun because you kind of just I basically just treat it as almost a heavy thing where you spawn with 2 sniper bullets. I'll try to get 2 kills with that kind of to start off. And certain people you kill will also drop special ammo, but I have not bothered trying to get most of that stuff because usually I'm dead pretty before I can get to that. But no, I've been enjoying the weapon changes because I just feel like I can, and it may be that it's still early days and no one quite knows what the loadout is, but I have not felt constrained at all in what I've really been wanting to use, sort of thing. So So yeah.
Well, so overall, you're feeling pretty positive about this update.
Yeah, and I'm liking the missions and stuff have been fun. I haven't really done any of the strike type of stuff, but like they've really kind of upped like the public event. I think it's called like escalation protocol. So they've kind of made that stuff a little more interesting. I think it's a good change, and we need that fourth guy for our Gambit team. And I'm looking at him.
Probably not. I don't think I can do it anymore, Doc.
We need you. We need you, Val. We've been talking. We could do it.
It doesn't sound.
I
don't know.
Do you have your Xbox?
I do. My Xbox is right here.
What's the problem?
I just don't. Still mad at Destiny 2 in general. I just been hurt too many times.
Have you though?
Yeah, pretty much every Destiny 2 itself and every update in Destiny 2. Yeah, if we go back to Destiny 1, I was fine with most of what happened there, but
that's definitely how the PvP for sure was feeling to me in terms of maybe like the pace of it and how different people were doing different things. Like you had people you had people getting close quarters, you had people kind of staying back around corners. It was kind of that, so you had that kind of mix of engagements again, which was really nice because it wasn't just. I'm not even trying to describe what it was before that.
Are there any new exotics that you have? Or
I have not gotten an exotic yet, so
yeah,
we're being a little stingy. But I only got to level like the max level a day or two ago. It's a 20 level jump now. But yeah, it seems like they're definitely going back in terms of like that kind of maybe grind level, in terms of a little more towards Destiny 1 in terms of I don't have like every, because it felt like in Destiny 2 you got like every weapon you needed in the first 20 hours or something, and there just wasn't
right.
There was a big problem with this. There's nothing to shoot for kind of thing. Whereas at least now I have yet to have an exotic drop for me. So, but I've been enjoying some of the perps.
Well,
also, Valent, Cade 6 is dead. So...
Sorry?
Cade 6, he's dead.
Who was he again?
He was Nathan Fillion, the annoying hunter guy. He's gone.
He died?
Yeah.
What? I mean, I like Nathan Fillion. I mean, he was annoying, but I mean, of all the characters in the game, he's the one I would want to see die the least. I mean, how did he die?
Well,
spoiler alert.
Okay,
by the way.
well, I mean, it's the opening cutscene, but and it's been in all the commercials. So there's something in the Prison of Elders. Remember that? That place.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to like quell a prison break or something, and then these dudes show up. Cade summons his ghost. Turns out that was a mistake, because a sharpshooter Baron guy shoots the ghost, which you're like, why haven't they been doing that more often?
Wait, time out. They can just do that?
Apparently. So don't summon your ghost.
Why don't they do that all the time?
Well, I guess we don't really have our ghost set unless we're like Balin, right? So I don't know. Anyway, they shoot the ghost,
I have
then
my ghost out a bunch. I hold the button and my ghost just comes out, you know?
Yeah. Well, consider yourself lucky that you didn't run into this Baron guy. So they shoot they blow the ghost up, and then he dies because they shoot him and stuff. So.
Then they shoot him after they shoot the ghost.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It seems like a very
with his own gun. And you know who shot him? Guess who shot him?
Ikora.
Do you remember the Elf Queen's brother?
That idiot? Isn't he dead?
No, he's not.
So they took a slightly annoying character and replaced him with a guy that I thought was already dead, who's way more annoying.
You're gonna kill him. He's not gonna live. He's not gonna. It's not gonna be like, it's fine. Come join our team. Like the end goal.
So is Is that the end of, like, so if you run through all the missions, is that
No.
what you end up doing?
No, I mean, I certainly assume that's what you end up doing. But, so right now, it's like this, there's like, it's called like the Scorn Barons, which are barons of those fallen guys. But each one has like a different, like one's like the pike thing, so you chase them through this pike level. One's like a sharpshooter, one's a big explosive person. It's different. And then it's basically you're going on hunts throughout the reef to hunt them down. So.
To avenge stupid Nathan Fillion. So he's been alive for like what, hundreds, thousands of years.
And he's been alive for a while, yeah.
And you think he would have learned not to summon his ghost in a situation, or you think that our enemies would have learned to snipe ghosts more often, because that hasn't happened up until now.
I don't know. I haven't read all the grimoire, so who knows? Who knows what secrets lay within?
Wait, time out. So where is your ghost most of the time then? Isn't it just like in your backpack or something?
I think they just kind of like
phase in and out of existence.
I mean, what? It's a magic thing that brings you back to life. Why not?
Well, then why do they even have to be like physically present? Can't they use their magic phasing powers to just bring you back from?
It feels like we're nitpicking here.
I am 100% nitpicking
because I want cool ghost
story
shells.
writing. I do too. I just think they could have found a better way to kill Nathan.
Is
Fillion,
it? I thought it was pretty. I was like, oh, that's cool. Because I was like, how you gonna kill him? Because the ghost is right there. And like other people have been killed, like Teal in the Vault of Glass just like got erased from existence or whatever.
Yeah, I was fine with that.
So you were fine with that? The paracausal whatever thing who just looks at something and it doesn't exist anymore, you're fine with that. But the shooting of the ghost that's a step too far?
Well, I'm just saying, if you can shoot at ghosts, we'd all be dead thousands of times over right now.
Would we? How many times have you faced someone who bothers to even try?
What? I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, we've died in the darkness thing hundreds of times. Of course we'd be dead.
I'm talking about even in the situations where like you can be revived and people go and they help your ghost. Your ghost just fucking sits there.
But he's like,
I'm just saying
he's like stupid. Expanded. So
I'm saying this is what they did. They introduced a new element. They didn't know how to kill him, so they just decided we're gonna throw some bullshit in here. I'm just saying this is what pisses me off about Destiny, is the lazy storytelling. From the beginning, they haven't tried to tell a cohesive story, and they still aren't. They just needed to get rid of. They didn't want to pay Nathan Fillion anymore, so they needed to get rid of the character. This is what happened. This is what happened for me in this. It'd be one thing if this were the byproduct of prior planning or any sort of foresight, but it's just laziness, which is
okay.
Destiny in a nutshell for me.
Anyway, game's fun to play. Buy the goddamn expansion and play Gambit with us.
I'm out.
No, you're doing it.
I will be out.
You're doing it.
Mega Man 11.
I played half the demo. It's fine. They need to stop adding voices to action games where you do the same action a bunch of times.
I completely agree.
Every time I jump, I don't need or at least like make it a good noise. Like it's just.
I personally never needed voice acting in Mega Man. It's
just amazing to me how badly they've done it every time. It's just that this is the voice you've gone with. Just make it like a robot voice, not like a 6-year-old.
I think that's being charitable.
Yeah. But the level was cool. Like it was some fun platforming stuff, some kind of interesting mechanics.
So you like to play the actual end-game mechanics, just not the audio.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Playing the game was fun. There's some cool kind of mechanics. There's like a kind of a slow down time kind of thing you can do. And then there's like I think there's a complex they call like the double gear system where you can like combine some abilities to kind of make different stuff happen, which is cool. And yeah,
Are you going to play it more or less though, because the voices thing?
I mean, I can always turn it down. I think. So.
True.
I can, there's no way it's going to be better than like the Mega Man 2 or 3 soundtracks. So I can just play those while I play it. So.
Yeah, there you go.
But good first experience. I'm excited. I think that comes out in October. So
We've got our longtime friend MV Cost complimenting your redecorating skills.
Oh, hey, right? It's gritty. Why can't I get the chat on my dashboard?
Is the chat not showing up for you?
Not for me. I've just been ignoring people. Okay. Well, I wish I had more to say on Mega Man 11, but that's about it. Looks good, which is good because that's one game where like the more I see it, the better it looks. Because like the initial trailer that they showed, I don't know what they did, but it was just really not great. It's like this looks like butt, but they've turned it around. So
that's good. I don't remember. I feel like we talked about that.
It was last year sometime, I think.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but I remember because they had released it at one of those big game conferences, right?
Yeah.
And you did not like that. And I remember we might have discussed that on a podcast.
Could be. Refer to the back catalog, people. All on YouTube, mostly. We're missing like one.
Which
episode.
brings us directly into how is D&D going?
D&D is going pretty well for the most part. We should be having another session this Saturday. Last Saturday I had to skip because family was in town, and family is more important than Dungeons and Dragons. Whether or not our
up to a
viewers agree
certain
with
point
that is another matter. I think I already gave the update on my campaign last time. My friend's campaign is going very slowly, it seems, because when I visited them for like 15 minutes last time before I had to head home, people were still making characters.
Oh, man.
This is session 2.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy. Is that something you would generally want people to do kind of on their own time, or...?
Well, that's usually what session 1 is for.
Yeah.
Like, your character should pretty much be done by session 1. I think it's because he's running a game in a very established setting, so it's a little bit hard to keep track of what is and isn't allowed.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay, so he's got a much more strict rules to adhere to in terms of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
Not like my campaign where we've got the, Null Necromancer named Tiffany and the half red dragon chaotic good fighter.
Yeah, there you go.
Who's like 4 different classes at this point.
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, people have their ways of enjoying D&D, and there's nothing wrong with any of them.
True, yeah. If you want to spend all day doing character creation, go for it.
Feels like not getting into the actual campaign might be a way of not doing it right, though.
True.
They're probably in the minority, but, Now, when you say very specific, so people are trying to like build their characters in a certain way so that they can survive in this environment he's created, or
so which setting is this?
What do you
in?
mean by that?
There is an established living campaign setting known as Arcanus that he is very, very fond of. And
What's a living campaign?
A living campaign is where the actions of the players actually affect what happens in the campaign world. So the next time the creators of this world make the setting, the players' actions may have affected what happens. It's...
I kind of thought that was most Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, it's in the sense, like, for example, our campaigns, you might affect the campaign world, but nothing we do is going to affect what Wizards of the Coast prints in the next version of the module. Whereas the idea with a living campaign is what players do will affect the campaign world the next time the company makes the books about the setting.
How?
I don't know. Honestly,
Because yeah, unless you're like,
I
wizards, I rolled a d20, so your main bad guy's dead. I mean, like, how does
You'd have to like
how?
record everything you did.
And they'd
think
have to sort through all these campaigns.
yeah, I think they do. Like
But
to a point. To a point. I think they've got like a way of rooting out certain things, but yeah, to me it sounds like way more trouble than it's worth.
It sounds made up.
it sounds made up to me. That's what I'm getting at. I don't see how this is possible.
Feels like your friend was duped. Maybe he wrote like one too many strongly worded letters. And they said, okay, you're the driver of this campaign now.
I would have to do more research on the subject to explain it better, and frankly, I just don't care enough.
That's homework for next week.
I was going to say, that could be a good topic. Living campaigns.
That could be yeah, if we actually want to do a topic on it, I will.
Fact or fiction?
Anyway, now I don't remember where I was going. Oh, hey, side note, Team Cherry made Hollow Knight, so great work, Team Cherry.
Team Cherry made Hollow Knight.
Well done, Team Cherry.
I am quite happy with.
I didn't look that up quickly enough to make that relevant, but
that rewards people for sticking through.
Exactly.
So you're right. So Junkblade, people making characters. So do you have to make a new character?
I do not have to make a character because I'm not playing in this campaign.
Oh, okay.
There are two separate reasons for that. One, which I've brought up in our streams before, I feel like fifth edition is just a watered down version of a previous edition, so I prefer playing that previous edition and not 5th edition.
Sure.
And two, there's simply no character concept that I can play in Arcanus that I actually want to play. So
really, they're so limited you can't.
Well, it sounds like it. Jeez, spend 2 sessions creating the dang characters.
For my tastes, yes, they're too limited in what is allowed, and I'm just not interested in what is allowed.
Okay.
And like, there's no familiarity with the setting for me, so none of the gods that I know from regular D&D exist.
Okay.
Most of the races don't exist. There's like 4 dozen different variations on humans.
That's too many.
Yeah,
that is too many.
Yeah, I absolutely respect people who go out of their way to make their own campaign worlds, and especially those who publish them. But sometimes...
But this one's dumb.
Sometimes less is more, people.
I wouldn't say it's dumb, it's just not for me. It's...
sounds a little... I'm going to go with Alan here. Sounds a little dumb.
But,
which means there's an opening for our D&D campaign, which we're totally going to do.
Okay, let's talk about that next week, too. The No Shots Fired world.
Who's going to play with us again? Is J Money going to play?
Everybody, yeah, J Money said he would. Tommy Tom said he would. I think we've got a decent amount of people. I bet you have to make him a fake stream name. What's the Q? I bet Q would.
All right,
I bet we could get.
Yeah, I think we should.
We would just have to do the thing where we rotate.
Yeah, it would have to be kind of a modular.
Yes.
Q is actually related to the surprise I'm going to bring up later.
Oh right, I forgot about the surprise.
You lulled us into. We totally forgot about it.
All right, well, I may as well just say what it is now.
All right.
He actually found our disc of Suikoden 2.
Really?
I don't know if it works yet.
I was gonna say.
What's I say? Is the disc in a case?
That's half the battle.
Hopefully.
That's a big part of it.
I was wrong on the concept of a living campaign,
Okay.
but we'll get into that next week.
Little tease.
Oh, well, I mean, that's good because your friend probably hasn't been duped then.
That's good. Yes.
Which brings us to our final topic. Before we take your questions, what game would you speedrun? Now I have questions about this question.
Okay.
Are you like?
So I guess the parameters here are like kind of like ignoring whether you think you could, slash like just maybe a game you've watched and like, oh, I wish I could do that, or like that would be fun to try to do. So I've gotten into the Link to the Past randomizer stuff because I watched that and I was like, oh, that looks like a blast. Like another one would be like Super Mario 64 would be awesome to be able to traverse it that well. Like there's no way I'm ever going to get to that, but that would be one like I would try to do if I had Oceans of Time, sort of thing. So like, but like on the other side of it, like I don't know. I was wondering if maybe Val, you're a much more kind of strategic thinking. So it's like some of these RPGs that people route, kind of figuring out the optimal equipment and doing stuff with as little as possible. Also goes in line with how you kind of like to play games eventually. So
I'm already thinking like Final Fantasy Tactics. I could see being fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really like one of my favorite games, which is really old at this point, Myth 2.
Well, yeah, you've talked about trying to do those swiftly.
One of the early Bungie installments, because I already have played these so much that sometimes I kind of do my own version of. I mean, it's not optimized, obviously, anywhere near the point where you could call it a speed run, but I mean, I have on legendary mode. I've tried to do it, so I haven't done this yet, and I don't know that I ever will. But like, for instance, play it through straight without on the hardest mode in the game. Play it through straight without losing a mission, which I've gotten halfway through.
Yeah.
It's like 30 missions. I got to 15 or 16, which I'm pretty proud of because it is not easy.
That could totally be like a category too, like the number of different categories people do.
That's what I was kind of thinking too with this. Like my categories would be more like, like you can't, if you fail, like I think it'd be fun if you fail a mission in like Myth 2, for instance, which is, for those of you who don't know, again, like it's an early Bungie installment. It's a real-time strategy game, but rather than like a StarCraft or an Age of Empires or a Warcraft, you get a set number of soldiers at the beginning, and you've got to complete the mission with that set number of soldiers. There's no way of rebuilding guys, or some missions you can like run into certain spots and you'll get like random reinforcements. Some characters can heal other characters, but you just get a set number of guys and you've got to beat the mission with
very much kind of like
it gives you.
The micro management focused as opposed to kind of that mix when you get. Okay, yeah.
Very much so. Okay. Yeah, no economy in this. This is all unit.
Yeah, so kind of like like people like I've seen like people do like no damage runs of like Metroid games and that kind of thing.
Sure, exactly.
The main thing I remember from the Myth games is whenever a guy died, casualty.
Yeah.
Casualty.
Yeah. That voice is fantastic.
It's fantastic, and it's said in such a deadpan way. Like, he does not care that the guy has died at all. It's just
classic 90s died. PC voice recordings, always good.
Yeah.
Junkblade, do you have a game you would want to try to get to that degree of ability?
I think it would be fun to do a Pokemon speedrun, one of the original games.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to be anywhere near good enough to do, like, I think the world record somewhere. It's somewhere between an hour and 45 minutes and an hour and 58 minutes, like somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I could probably break 3 or 4 hours if I knew the method.
Well, those are some interesting. That's another one that's got some very interesting. Just the stuff they figured out is always kind of what's interesting to me.
Yeah, and speedruns are just sort of insane. Like the length, not just the lengths people will go to shave off even just a few seconds, but how luck dependent some of them are. Like the Pokemon one, for instance. I've tried doing the first little leg of the speedrun a few times, and just there's times where it goes. There was one time when it went incredibly well, and I was thinking, man, if I was actually trying to get through the whole game, this would be the way to start off. And then there's other times where it's just garbage the entire way through.
Well, because it's dependent on like your starting stats, right, of your starter.
Well, what most people do is they play Pokemon Red because it has a higher chance of getting the Pokemon that turns into Nidoking. So your goal is to start with Squirtle, get it to level 8 by the time you reach Brock's gym, and then he can take down Brock real easy because of Bubble. Then after that, you just ride Nidoking the rest of the way through the game. And that is considered the most consistent method at this point.
Which is just kind of crazy that you get like one Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's just like...
Well, not only that, but some of the things on the way there, like you have to avoid certain trainer battles, and you have to get really lucky in some of the caves, because I think all of us who played Pokemon remember Geodude and Zubat Hell.
Oh yeah, like those earlier ones, either through poorness of programming or just kind of that's how they were going, what they were going for, were pretty difficult in terms of getting through completely unscathed, for sure. In terms of relying on one Pokemon, that's always impressive. But I think there was a category, I watched one that was like...
did I?
Nope. I still got you.
We lost you, Doc.
Oh, you guys lost me?
No. This is bad.
I can hear you.
Because if we lost Doc, that means we're...
I can hear you guys.
Not live anymore? Let me see what happens to the stream in about 4 seconds.
This is fun. So
Okay,
I can keep
Doc
talking.
can hear us. He's...
Yeah, that's...
We just can't hear him.
Do we restart the call real fast?
Why am I talking? They can't hear me.
I think I just heard him.
Hello?
I do, but it's weird. It's like... Bzz, brr,
Yeah.
like something might be maybe unplug, replug the mic. But it's weird. It's like... Bzz, brr,
Yeah.
it sounds like something. Like it would sound like if my mic...
Is it out that way on the stream?
Well, it's working now.
It's working now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird feedback
That was an awful sound, though.
Interesting. Okay, well, what was that? Well, when did you lose me?
Nidoking-ish?
Right after Zubat and Geodude.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Especially those early Pokemon games were actually, pretty difficult in terms of getting through that sort of stuff, especially with only one viable Pokemon. But I was saying one I watched the other day, which I thought was pretty interesting, was one where they catch all 151 Pokemon.
I like stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
It was interesting, but kind of, I was kind of hoping there'd be like more like, oh, we have to go here, like, but it was a lot of like ridiculous glitches that they were able to do, and just like going through item overflow and that sort of stuff would just summon certain Pokemon. So it was interesting in how they figured it out, but I was kind of hoping there would be more traveling to different locations and stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen.
This is our surprise.
No.
Oh,
what? What is
Hello?
what?
No.
Hello? This is the Madamus special coming to you live from
Madamus?
Oh my God!
How long has it been?
All of our viewers have seen his famous runs at Faster Than Light.
Let's say we're in New Hampshire.
From New Hampshire. What's on the agenda tonight?
You've missed most of the agenda, unfortunately.
We're down to the last.
Madamus, which game would you speedrun if you could speedrun any game?
He'd faster than okay.
What's the longest game ever?
There's a Bait and Kaidos speedrun which
Oh,
I
God.
believe is 300 hours.
That's the one.
Let
I
me
would
check.
do that.
Hang on, let me check here.
And you can't sleep during it.
World record
Is
bait
that-
and kite is 100% in 341 hours and 20 minutes.
Is that like at least a 100% speed run?
It
or
is.
the-
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awful.
Well, like, you'd have it would take a similar amount of time to do a Shadow the Hedgehog 100% completion, because I think each route took me like 2 hours, and you have to do that 300 different times to get 100%.
Miserable.
Well, so that's what you're speedrunning, I guess.
Back to back.
With no sleep, just coffee.
Wait.
So what is which? Oh, that was the topic. Which game would you speedrun?
Yes.
I think you should be allowed to sleep. It just counts against your total time. Hey, a question: is this only like for that 341? Do we know if that is accounting for sleep, or is this like they get to pause the game?
That's a
and
good
goes-
question, because most speedruns are like invalid if you take any sort of break, because
The run takes so long that Twitch temporarily suspended the world record holder's channel for a terms of service violation when he took time to sleep on stream.
It's hilarious. See,
So
that's where
it-
I could beat people.
So it
because
would
I need to train my
appear.
body. I don't need sleep.
I was really hoping he would just like pause the timer because we could all like come together as a society and accept that this
Talk-
is not a way
talk
to,
about this.
to live one's life.
Unfortunately, for most speedruns, if not all of them, if you do that, it's just considered null and void.
Yeah, a single segment is the most popular for sure.
I thought Jay Money here.
He was,
but he doesn't do the podcast usually.
Yeah.
He's very rare. He might have if he had known you were gonna show up for the last. He's gonna get on here in a little bit if you want to talk to him. He'll be on Discord. No, you don't. Okay.
What are you guys playing lately? Yeah, no, hard no.
J Money and I just troll people in Counter Strike basically, or in. we got some good ones. He's keeping a log of how many. So we get people on our team to either betray us or accidentally betray us, so they get booted from the game. And then when you get booted from the game, you get a ban that if it's your like first time within X number of days, you get 30 minutes. Then it's 2 hours. Then it's a whole day. Then it's 7 days. So we've been keeping track of how long cumulatively people have been banned from the game because specifically of us. So
There's
he's got
just
a logbook.
so many
That's
other
ridiculous.
games that we could be playing. Is all like
There's like 2 others. Doc,
I
come
just want J Money to play Rocket League again. God damn it!
on. Why doesn't he?
I don't know.
Really?
It's too stressful, so he doesn't like it.
Stressful.
It could be
It's-
worse, Doc. He could be playing League of Legends like Madamus here.
God,
Yeah.
you're not still playing that.
So this is what I did.
Ah.
I'll tell you guys. This is what I did.
No.
I got on and I started playing FTL, and then I downloaded another game and I forget what it was, and then I just got bored, and then I re-downloaded League.
Ah.
And I hate it. I probably hate it more now. I don't like it, but I don't know what to play.
I've got a lot of games.
What
You should-
about StarCraft?
StarCraft?
They really like StarCraft too.
The
Or-
servers are still running for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we play StarCraft Remastered.
Interesting.
I actually do like StarCraft. I'm really bad at it, but
Oh, I'm horrible.
Everyone's
I-
really bad at it.
I have no motivation to get better.
That's not
Also.
relevant.
You're not going to have time to get better either.
No, I have plenty of time right now.
True.
I have like another year doing nothing. It's gonna be great.
Madamus, have we talked about a game called Rocket League?
I'm not a Rocket League guy. Unfortunately.
I've got a lot of games that if you want something that's not just Junkblade, have him look through because I'm sharing my library with you, right?
Mass
Yeah.
Effect. Somebody play Mass Effect.
Oh, the thing is, I also here's my predicament. I spend a dumb amount of time on League, but it feels like if I started another game, I would be like committing to wasting a lot of time. Even though I still will spend. No, I'm kidding.
But Mass Effect is just a single player game. There's no. You just play the story. There's no wasting time because it's just experiencing something. It's not.
But then I won't be able to stop.
Yes, you will. The game will end. The story will be complete.
Alright. You have me sold. I'll play Mass Effect. Alright, let's move on to the time in the podcast has come for questions.
Manmus, do you have a question?
Yeah,
No,
I
none
think
for me.
you're the only one here, right?
Why do
Wait.
kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Tastes fantastic. Next.
It's delicious.
Yeah. Alright, so that answers that
Oh,
question.
I know. We get Manibus in on the randomizer stuff that we're gonna do for sure soon.
What is this?
Okay, so they made a thing called Randomizer for Link to the Past, where it randomizes all the relevant items in the game. So it won't ever give you like a lineup that you can't beat the game with, but instead of finding the bombs where you're supposed to, you will find something else entirely, and then you have to remember enough about the game to use that item to find the next item.
So you go through that. You can go through the dungeons in a
Link to the
random
Past.
order. There can be
No, this
ones
is-
where you won't even play certain dungeons because you just have to get the 7 crystals to get to Ganon's tower.
This
So if
sounds
nothing-
so hard.
Is it? No, I wouldn't say hard.
It sounds like you just like do stuff over. You keep going back? Is that
No.
no?
Nope.
Maybe I misunderstand.
But it's it helps to use like an item tracker, and it uses like when you get stuff like the gloves or the hook shot, like that opens up new areas of the map that you can then check. So it's basically it sounds a little impenetrable to you, like I watched there's like a lot of races that people run on Twitch of this. It's like watching like 1 or 2 of those really kind of gives you an idea of
I
what
haven't heard of this game.
Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Does someone have it?
Link to the Past?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just download the ROM because it's a ROM hack. So it's
The ROM?
yeah.
The what? Is it an old game?
Yes.
Oh,
You haven't heard of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past?
Oh, see, this is
That's
what I didn't
Super
catch.
Nintendo.
So I didn't catch Legend of Zelda. All I heard was Link to the Past.
That's all you needed, though.
Well, it wasn't enough.
He's been out. He's spending all of his time with League of Legends, Doc. And
God!
Brain.
At what cost?
Wait. Hey, Madamus, don't listen for. Doc, don't listen for a second. Hey, if you're playing with like Quentin or something, let me know.
No. No.
I love
played
playing.
with Chandler the last
No.
Chandler and Quentin are hilarious to play with.
But get him to play a good game.
But it's more about getting to play with, like, because I don't know what else Chandler and Quentin could even play.
Chandler's been playing FDL, actually.
Oh, that is a. Has he been liking it?
Yeah, he likes it. He hasn't won yet, but it takes a while.
It took me. I played it a bunch. I don't know if I ever won.
Madamus, you need to check out the new game by that developer then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
keeps
I bet
popping
you
up.
would. I bet you would like that. For real.
Into the Breach.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
man. I actually...
I've heard good things about it.
It's got very good reviews.
Yeah.
Hey, has anyone played it?
I have not. No.
I have not. I just forgot all
Maybe
about it. Until
Maybe I'll be the first and let you guys know.
you should. You would legit like it because
Yeah.
their twist on getting through they've got a You'll just download it. You'll like it.
Cool.
Because I think it's inexpensive, right?
Yeah, it's one of those like 10, $15, I think. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, $15 on Steam.
15.
This is the League of Legends expansion we're talking about?
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
I'm a Pike main, so
All right, you guys can wrap this up. I'll come back in a little bit.
All right.
Farewell.
Well, I think
Fucking League of
Junkblade's got the
Legends.
wrap up.
God.
Well, I can say first, Doc, you don't have to worry because I freaking hate MOBA games, so I'm not getting into League of Legends or Dota 2 or any other one they come out with.
Thank you. Thank you, Junkblade.
So, tonight we've covered Hollow Knight, which will probably be the last time for a while, unless...
No, I'm gonna start playing it now so we can keep it going.
I'm fine with this. Destiny 2, which Doc and Valen very much disagree on.
Well, I mean, I cannot speak intelligently about the latest expansion, so I'm sure it's great.
We talked shortly about Mega Man 11 and how Doc and I both hate the voice acting for the Mega Man series, just in general. We did a short D&D update and then got into a debate about what a living campaign is, which will be covered next week, because now I actually know. We all went into which game we would speedrun, and Matamos, of course, wants to do, like, the longest games possible back-to-back.
I'm gonna get him beating Kaido, so I'm calling his bluff on that one.
And then we went over your questions, of which there were none, sadly. But there will be at some point, and we will go over them then.
Sounds
And
good.
we did both surprises, both the Sakoden 2 one, which hopefully it works, and the surprise guest of Matamos.
There we go. And in honor of Junkblade's exciting news that Crystal Chronicles is getting a remaster, that's our intro and outro music this week.
Oh.
Underrated soundtrack, for sure.
Very underrated.
So,
Thanks for stopping by, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
peace.